Dear viewers from the Diaspora in Armenia, we are continuing our interviews with the speakers and guests of the Global Armenian Summit. And right now, I have the pleasure to host at our media booth international negotiation expert, legal advisor, Sarah Babaian. Thank you, Sarah, for joining our summit and being a guest at our media booth. First of all, tell us about your impressions about the summit.
Yeah, Al, thank you. It's so nice to be here again. Last year I have been here and it was already a good pleasure. I think it's very well organized. It's very interesting. Now this year it's so many people, so I think it's very good for connecting and gathering together to see how we can support Armenia.
Yeah, that's great. I do believe that this platform is also a possibility for everybody for new projects, new networking ideas, and our guests can also at least somehow find new pathways of collaborating with each other.
Exactly. That's exactly what you say. I mean, I see like we are coming together from all over the world and it's really like connecting and seeing like, oh, you're doing the same, so maybe we can come together and do something to be more powerful. So I think it's a very good opportunity to meet here and also this time it's not just legal, but it's economical, so it's very interesting.
Yeah. So, Sarah, you were a speaker at the session which was dedicated to the protection of rights of forcibly displaced people from Nagorno-Karabakh. Can you tell us a little bit more about the session? What was the main discussion around? Which theme the main discussion was?
I think it was so interesting because it was highlighted from different angles. We had someone who was talking, I mean, Yerishe Kirakusani was here. He talked about the ICJ proceedings and the right to return under the cert. And we also had other ones. And I think it was nice to see it from a legal perspective. What can we do in order to implement that fundamental right? And I was the one talking from a very negotiation side, from a practical angle to see, because I mean, these judicial proceedings, they are taking a long time. And we are talking about what can we do now to support the Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh, of Artsakh. So I really tried to connect the negotiation peace process, which is ongoing, to see what can Armenia, the Republic of Armenia, what can they do in order to support this idea of the right to return, and is it a part of the negotiation process or not? Does it have to be one? I think this was what we were discussing.
Sarah, if I'm not mistaken, you're also advising, or you have been advising the government on different legal issues in terms of the rights of people from Nagorno-Karabakh. Am I right? Or
not really. I mean, we are trying to do that, but I cannot say it would be wrong to say I'm really advising the government with regard to that. But we are trying to be very in close contact in order to do that. But it's not like, I mean, we are in contact, but to say advising would be like I have a special contract to work together with them. Yeah. But this is something which should be,
But there is also kind of a connection.
Yeah, of course.
There is a pool of experts and lawyers who are always very open to advise.
Yeah.
Different matters, different legal issues.
Yeah, so from the perspective of our German-Armenian Lawyers Association, we are really trying to connect the dots between German lawyers, Armenian lawyers. We are very open to discuss any kind of questions with regard to Armenia. But the last 4 years, we profoundly focused on the war in Artsakh, and we kind of raised awareness not just in Armenia, but in Germany to see really like what is going on. We also published a lot of articles, and most importantly, we published our book. It is about the war in Artsakh, and it is a judicial analysis of the war. We published this first of all in German because our task is also to raise awareness in Germany, but it is already translated and will be published also and released in English, because I really think it's a profound work from different angles: self-determination, hate speech, political things like so it really entails everything. So this is one work we do, but we also collected so much evidence. We filed complaints with regard to people who took part in the war. So we filed a complaint with regard to war crimes with the federal prosecutor, also with regard to Armeniophobia. So I think we are doing really good job for just being an association. We are working together with the other international Armenian lawyers associations to exert pressure to write letters to the high representatives of the European Union, of the United Nations. So I really think we are doing a good work.
That's really very impressive. But last year we had the Lawyers Assembly and we talked about legal issues a lot last year. And last year we also met many representatives from your association, from Armenian German Lawyers Association, and from other associations or bar associations as well. So how it's going on, the collaboration between different associations right now, especially after the Lawyers Assembly that we held in Yerevan last year?
I mean, we were, honestly to say, we were connected already before because we really wanted to exert pressure. We are really collecting evidence from everywhere, also with regard to the fact of universal jurisdiction. We are supporting Argentina, Sweden also to file these complaints as we have collected the evidence. We are also working together with the Center for Truth and Justice, who had a conference last week. So, but it's still very ongoing. It's we are still connecting, even though we are all over the world. So this is what we are doing, and I think this is what makes us strong, because we are working together and everyone has a specification. So I think, yeah, it's really good work. But it was so nice meeting the people also in person last year.
Yes. And can you just clarify how people can, for example, they want to learn more about the book that you have mentioned before, how they can, where they can find it, first of all?
I mean, right now they can buy it everywhere on Amazon, or they can buy it at Nomos. This is where we have released it, published it, but it will be also released in English, because I mean now it's just in German. So in the moment when we have it, we will tell you and tell everyone so that they are able to get it, because I think even though the war is over, kind of, and maybe things had changed, but I think still, I mean, nevertheless, it's very profound work. And I mean, right to self-determination hasn't changed. The right to return doesn't change. I mean, so it's still ongoing. And also the lobbying of the German government for the Azerbaijan government is still ongoing. So, I mean, there are many interesting chapters in the book.
Yeah, and it should be a very important step in terms of advocacy.
Yeah.
The advocacy of Armenian interests.
Of course.
In Germany and in other parts of the world.
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Sarah, very much for joining our summit this year, and thank you for being our guest at our media.
I thank you very much.
Wish you all the best.
All the best to you too. Bye.